I read this book about John Wilkes Booth, and I wrote this weird song. All right, let's see if this thing will work down here. Tell you a little story about a man named John Wilkes Booth. Probably read the history books, but they don't tell the truth. Well, he shot down old Abe Lincoln, and he took off on the run. Convinced he'd be a hero for that awful deed he'd done. Well, he stopped to get his legs set by a man named Dr. Mudd. And he realized the whole countryside was out to get his blood. Yeah, he had friends who helped him. No, he did not act alone. Brothers of the South conspired to get him safely home. Thanks to Mr. Johnson, when old Abraham was killed, who promised him safe passage, and they shook hands on the deal. Well, they hit him in a wagon of an old black man on the moon, who took him to the river by the light of the midnight moon. Well, he crossed the Rappahannock at Ports Conway and Royal, quite relieved to set his feet on sweet Virginia soil. 3 men of Colonel Mosby's were waiting on the shore, one of whom was Captain Jed, who helped him on his course, and the other 2 lieutenants led Booth down to Garrett's farm, where they left him there a couple days to hide out from all harm. But on their quick return, they told him about a squad of Yankee troops who just crossed the Rappahannock after him in hot pursuit. Said, John Wilkes, you better hide out quick, don't you hesitate, and we'll bring you back a handsome horse to make your great escape. Well, the Yankees said they killed him in the barn that very next day, but they must have been mistaken, 'cause Booth, he got away. He rode hard through West Virginia for several days and nights. Barely stopped to rest his horse, he'd about or shut his eyes. He crossed a big sandy river, and he kept on making tracks right through that dark and bloody ground, and he never once looked back. On and on he rode along through Tennessee's green hills. He saw all of the destruction on the recent battlefield. Well, he did his best to move southwest, not knowing where he is going. And then he crossed the mighty Mississippi at a place called Catfish Pond. Well, he followed west of the Arkansas and went winding across the state into Indian territory, where he made his great escape. And for 18 months he hid out with the native tribes out there, and that Oklahoma wind, it blew through that assassin's hair. Well, he'd go to sleep beneath the buffalo robe, and he'd wake up in a scream, as old Abe Lincoln haunted him in all his restless dreams. Of all the famous actors of his day, he stood out from the pack. Never seen since he fired the fatal shot, wasn't nothing but an act. with that pretty little derringer tucked away inside his vest, like Brutus was to Caesar's sick-tempered tyrant. But the ghost of old Abe Lincoln chased him down each night. Yeah, he was running from his demons with no relief inside, and it wore him down to nothing, just existing as a way. His tormented life a living hell until his dying day. Well, he did a lot of traveling, and the years rolled by that way, speaking poetry and Shakespeare. Now and then he changed his name, way out in Glen Rose, Texas, where the bonnets are so blue. He went with John St. Helen in 1872, and he was sick in bed and out of his head, so he sent for Lawyer Babe. And on his deathbed confession said, St. Helen's not my name. Now my name is John Wilkes Booth, and I killed the president. Take this tin type to my brother Edwin, notify him of my death. In psychedelic dreams, stayed in a medicated fog. All at once he was center stage, soaking up applause, taking bows out in the footlights, smoking pistol in his hand, a patriotic superstar to his adoring fan. Well, then the fever broke and he awoke, and St. Helen realized that he'd revealed his secret, even though he did not die. So he vanished like a raven in the pitch-black Texas night, a shape-shifting apparition flying through another time. Oklahoma in the year of 1903, determined he would end it all, maybe finally he'd be free. He walked into the drugstore and bought himself some strong strychnine, walked back up to his hotel room and drank it down like fine red wine. Well, they mummified his body and they set him in a chair, and the people came from miles around just to see him sitting there. From carnivals to freak shows, they toured him across the land, spent many a buffalo nickel gawking at that infamous man. From circus trains to county fairs, this mummy made its rounds, but now since the 1970s, that mummy can't be found, and its whereabouts still remain a mystery to this day. That's the story of how John Wilkes Booth made his great escape. I knew you wasn't ready for it. Thank y'all again. I appreciate it. Hope to see you next year. Take care.